feature, back office configuration. Why we did it? Because for a long time, Spryker had two sources of configuration. It's a code base and environment variables. And both of them requires a lot of effort for changing this configuration. Like if you want to change number of product on category page, you need to change code, run deployment, etc. Or if you want to change token for your payment credentials, you need to go to AWS, change credentials in AWS, and then reload all containers. So it takes a lot of time. That's why we implemented this feature that allows business users to change some significant things in workflow, in credentials, in some maybe small features, again, in back office without any redeployment. Just you click on several configurations, you save it, and then you go and see it in storefront almost immediately. Let's start with demo how it works. So we have this configuration for catalog inventory. So this is a small widget that will be shown on product page. And by default, it's turned on. As you can see here, it's visible. And now we can change how it looks like. As you can see, it will be shown that it waits for synchronization because we're using publish synchronize to store data in Redis. And it takes some time, usually not so long. So now if we will update this page, this view will be changed, or we can even completely disable it. As you can see, we have some dependencies between configurations. So if one configuration depends on another, disabling, enabling of one will reflect changes in others. And now the same publish and sync approach, and widget disappeared. So let's see how it works in code. First of all, configuration will be, it's fully declarable. You don't need to build the whole workflow for each part of your system. You can just define YAML file with exact structure. On project level, it's data configuration. And here you have files where you can edit our project specific things, or you can develop your own. So in declaration, we have several several nesting groups. It's first of all feature level, then tabs, groups, and setting by itself. So groups, tabs, and features mostly used for information and for building final key that will be used in PHP code later. You can provide different types of configuration. Also, what is important, we have several things like Boolean, select, and all other things. You can read it in documentation. All of them usable. All of them has completely different templates. You can override them on project level if you want. You can create your own template and provide it with configuration here. Let's maybe have some example. Yes, in configuration, we have an example page. We have a lot of things like with XSS, with constraints, and lots of other things. Okay, so important things. Each value can have default value, and this will be the final result if you have no things configured in back office, if you have no things created for specific scope, it will be used from here. You can also provide as a secret. So secret, it means that during saving, data will be encoded and stored in database using cipher. And so without keys and the initial vector, no one will be able to see what's the result inside. And another thing, it's storefront. Storefront values will be published to Redis. And if storefront is marked as false, it means that they will be available only from database and will not be published into Redis. Also, at this moment, all secrets will not be published into Redis because our security team thinks that it's bad, and I can agree with them that Redis is not the most safest database. That's why it would be good if secret things will stay in RDS only. So we declared our configuration, and then we are opening module. And now with latest version of kernel, we have in all abstract bundle configs method that named module config. It's available in Yves, Blue, Client, and Z. This method has three parameters. First parameter, it's availability key of configuration that you want to have. Second, it's fallback value that will be used if this configuration doesn't exist, if it's not stored, or if it's not stated here. Instead of just regular value, you can use the result of some function or whatever. And third parameter, it's configuration of configuration scopes. So configuration scope, it's our way how we want to handle multiple levels of configurations. So we start with global. It means that it will be general for everyone, all stores. So it's some kind of fallback that will be used if other scopes are not defined. Out of the box, we are providing another scope. It's store. So we can define a value per store and default. These scopes can be extended. You can create whatever amount of scopes you want, but just you need to define hierarchy. It means that one scope depends on another scope, and then go. So there should be some chain of scopes, and the first thing that has configuration, it will win. So if you define scope for store, it will be, and the current store, for example, you defined configuration for store D, and this will be, currently you're watching on store D, this configuration will be used. Let's see how it works. So we defined it for store D, and now all it's available in store D. If we will change to store PT, widget will not be visible. These things can be used for different use cases, like you can provide locale-specific, merchant-specific, customer-specific. Even to achieve it, you need to add here additional scope and extend the office values that we are using here with additional things. Like this will be just one plugin. So this already visible in our documentation. It's very easy to add and very easy to understand how it works. Yep. After you added a new configuration or you updated something in existing configuration, you can just need to run console configuration synchronization console command, and it will just update everything. So there is no need to store something in database. All configuration will be stored in temporary files, and these files will be used to render this UI. And some will be used for using the default value if it's needed. Also, as you can see, not all of our default configurations has stored scope. That means that when you switch in between scopes, some of them will be visible, some of them not. Only those that store specific will be visible if you switch to some store context. Also, another thing, we have here search. By default, it filters in two directions. First of all, on the same page, if you have a lot of configurations, you can just filter it, find some exact like options, for example. Yep. And also it filters menu, that you will see only those menus where you have inside this world. So there is no need to go through all tabs, all features manually to find some exact option. You can just go through here and see that option is also here available.